What's the secret to beauty's beauty?
Langis.
Ito ba lahat ang gamit mo?
Ay hindi, isa lang ang gamit ko for all. Moringa O2 Therapy Oil. Hindi lang malunggay. Meron ding olive oil and omega from sunflower oil.
This therapy oil helps relieve my dry and irritated skin.
It helps lighten my scars and stretch marks.
It helps make my hair strong and healthy.
This is our beauty secret.
Sana all!
Zero oil.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm praying that all of you are well and safe. So, it's another fun-filled e-learning session powered by Ariva Academy. Welcome to another series of our HR Virtual Summit PH Bounce Back HR Sharpen Resilience for the New Normal World of Work. So, this is a live webinar for a cause. My name is Irish Malonda Samson, your host, and with me is Mr. Howell Mabalat as my co-host and moderator. Hi, Sir Howell.
Hello, Madam Irish
Good
Malonda.
morning.
Miss Irish, Miss Irish. Hello, good morning, and good evening to our speaker who's in the US right now.
Okay. And our topic today is how to survive and thrive during turbulent times. And we have invited an international speaker, a global speaker from United States. And later you'll got to meet him. But before that, please allow me to introduce to acknowledge and greet some of our out of the country participants. And guys, let us know as well, where are you from? So later we'll got to greet you also. Okay, thank you for joining us, our participants from India, Mumbai, India, from New Delhi, Jakarta, Indonesia, Johor, Malaysia, Abu Dhabi, Palau, Singapore, and United States. Okay, thank you for joining us today. And also, in order for us to have a smooth flow of our e-learning session, here are the house rules. For those of you who are first-time viewers of our webinar, please type in hi in the chat box now. Go ahead, tell us where are you from and type in hi. Let me see. Okay. And we would like, hello from Cavite, Miss Elijah. Hello, hi, thank you for joining us today. From Mary Ann from General Santos City. Yan, okay. And we would like to know if you can hear us loud and clear and we are audible. So please follow the codes below. So type in 111 if you can hear us loud and clear. 222 means you can hear us. 2121 means our sound is breaking up. And question mark if you don't understand anything. Okay, 111, Miss Elijah, we're loud and clear. Thank you. Who else? Miss Olivia. Hello, ma'am. Miss Arlene. Okay, we're loud and clear. Good morning, Miss Jacqueline. Good morning. Miss Elaine Grace, hello. Okay. And moving on, we will be having a 2 to 3 minute break after the presentation of our guest speaker. And before we move on to our question and answer portion, participants' microphones will be temporarily disabled by the administrator during discussion to avoid interruptions. Questions will be entertained after each topic of the session. For questions and clarifications during the provided time after each topic, please click the raise hand button for the administrator to enable the microphone for live questions. We will entertain live questions later. Type in your questions at the Q&A box. One question at a time will be entertained. For comments and feedback, please scan this QR code. This will be directed to our feedback form. Please send us your comments, feedback, suggestions, topics to discuss for us to improve our future e-learning sessions. And I know you're very excited to meet our speaker to discuss how to survive and thrive during turbulent times. Mr. Howell Mabalot, please introduce our guest speaker today.
Hi, Miss Irish. It is a pleasure to introduce our speaker today, who will be broadcasting live from the United States of America. So our speaker for today is the author of Celebrate Lessons Learned from the World's Most Admired Organizations, and the book A Celebration a Day, 365 Ways to a Happier, Healthier Workplace. His mission as a professional speaker and chief celebration officer is to help organizations engage employees, create meaningful customer experiences, and improve organizational performance and productivity through the power of celebration. He has been speaking around the globe, revealing how leading businesses create a culture of celebration and innovation, and how they profit through the effort. He has 30 years of experience as a motivational humorist, the founder and president of Together We Can Change the World, twcctw.org, and he's been certified in Belbin team assessment profiling. Everybody, let's all welcome Sir Scott Friedman.
Thanks, Hal.
Good evening, Sir Scott.
How are you?
We're good, and we're happy to have you, sir.
Wonderful. It's wonderful to be here. Appreciate you having me.
By the way, sir, we have someone from Minnesota watching us right now, Ma'am Becky Lebu from Minnesota, USA. Thank you so much for joining us as well.
Hi, Becky. Thanks for joining.
And sir, if I may just remind you, Sir Scott, we have 4 platforms right now, social media platforms. We're being seen live. First, we're being seen here via Zoom. Second, via YouTube. We're live streaming as well, even in LinkedIn and through Facebook Live. So thousands of people globally are watching us right now. So no pressure on your part.
Well, it's too late now. Now I feel it. Don't worry. We're good.
And I'm sure you are going to give us great vibes and hope and fun.
All right. Thanks, Hal. Hal, why don't we start off by putting up the first poll? What do you think?
Sure, sir. By the way, Sir Scott,
do it.
I will be giving you the platform. So while you do your discussion, I'll be fading away in the background, and I will be fading in during the Q&A.
Okay, you'll run my polls for me, right?
Sir Jeff will run the poll for you, sir.
Oh, okay. Okay, Jeff, thank you. All right. Let's answer the question or finish this statement. If you're happy and you know it, all that apply. Clap your hands, wash your hands. If you're happy and you know it, then you're not watching the news. If you're happy and you know it, then pass me what you've been drinking. Go ahead. Clap your hands. We got, okay. Wash your hands. All right. Let's end this poll in about 10 seconds. All right. I think between, Okay, finally somebody said, pass me what you're drinking. That's good. We have to have one of those, right, Hal?
Yes, we need that drink. Whatever they're having.
Well, it's evening here in the U.S., so it's maybe more appropriate. Okay, so you went with the standard clap your hands. All right, well, in that case, here we go then. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. All right, beautiful. All right, just checking. Good. It's good to start off happy. But because, it's if you're like me, and I know I am, you'd like to have a little bit more control in your life. And with this pandemic, we don't quite have the control we used to. All we really have control over is how we react and we respond. And depending on your circumstances and your perspective is really going to impact how you deal with this whole thing. So let's just take a look. I want to find out where you're at right now. Jeff, can you put on the second poll and let's find out where people are at. All right. How I feel on a daily basis. All right. Let's a little emotional check-in. A, worried about how I'm going to support my family. B, fear of getting the virus and infecting others. C, excited to have more time for family and the things I like to do. D, one minute I'm scared, the next minute I'm excited about possibilities. And E, my medication dulls the pain. Go ahead, all that applies. All right, you kind of looks like it's all over. All right, excited. Oh, good. I'm glad to see that you're excited to have more time with the family. That makes me happy. All right. 1 minute I'm scared, and the next I'm excited. So, all right. So it's all over the board except for medication. That's even better. Nobody's taking medication. All right. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. So you see what the results are all over the board. All right. So yeah. So it is a scary time. It's a scary time. It's an exciting time. And as we experience this together, we have our own stories we tell ourselves. We have our own level of stress and anxiety, and we create however much drama in our lives that we allow ourselves to create. All right, and I'm not going to make light of what's going on in people's mind, but I do want to ask you permission this morning, unless you're in the U.S. tonight, to put the drama on hold for an hour. How does that sound? For our time together, can I have permission that we get to laugh a little bit? We get to learn together, have some fun. Sound good? All right, give me a thumbs up, or in the chat box, just say woohoo or yes, I got you, Sir Scott, or Scott. It's fine. Okay, sound good? Great, with your permission, because laughter is good for you, is it not? I mean, it's the best medicine, they say. I mean, laughter has no calories, no caffeine, no cholesterol, no MSG, no preservatives, no salt, no sodium, no sugar. It's paleo-friendly, it's vegan, it's gluten-free. And when you laugh, so much of you has a good time. So if something sounds funny, you have permission just to go with it. Sound good? Okay, good. All right, so I need to make sure that you are mentally alert and that you're going to pay attention. So will you play along with one mental brain teaser with me? Yes? Okay, good. If you do, there's a really good chance you'll come up with the right answer. So in your mind, pick a number between 2 and 9. You got it? You're doing well. Here's the hard part. Multiply that number by 9. Feel free to pull out a calculator. Some of you may want to change your original number. If you choose 2, the whole thing becomes an addition problem. 9 plus 9. Look at that. Try that. All right, you should have a 2-digit number if you're playing along. Add those 2 digits together. So if you came up with 24, you would add 2 and 4, you would now have 6. You should have a 1-digit number. Do you? Beautiful. All right, subtract 5 from the number that you now have. Got it? Correspond the new number to a letter in the alphabet. 1 would be A, 2 would be B, 3 would be C, and so on. You have your letter? Good. First country that comes to your mind that begins with that letter, keep it to yourself. How many of you need a globe? All right, go to the last letter of that country and come up with an animal that begins with the last letter of that country. Stick with me, we're almost done. Go to the last letter of that animal and come up with a color. And I'm here to tell you that there are no orange kangaroos in Denmark. Yeah? Yeah? All right? In the chat box, give me a thumbs up or a nah. You see, usually there's 3 groups of people right now. First group, those of you that are saying, that's what I got. Is that what you got? I can't believe it. How we do? How many in that group? Hopefully a lot. Second group of people, those of you who could not come up with a country that begins with the letter D, or you came up with Dominican Republic or Djibouti, which would have been the right answer, just not the right answer we were looking for today. And the third group of people, the mathematically challenged. You know who you are. Math was meant for other people. Now, other than having a little bit of fun, making sure you were mentally alert, I did this for a reason. You see, I knew where we were going. Orange kangaroos in Denmark, that's where we were going. And I knew that by making the right choices together, where were we going to end up? Orange kangaroos in Denmark. So as you look at where you're at right now, and we're all in this together, all over the world, where is it we're going? Where is it you're going? What choices have you made in the last month about what your future looks like, about what your present looks like? You see, some of the choices that we could be making now, and I encourage you to make, is to choose to be relentlessly positive. It's a choice. To choose to be healthy. It's a choice. To choose to build better relationships with family, with your fellow employees, with your community. It's a good chance. Even though you're home, there's all kinds of ways with technology today, right? To add value to employees and customers during this time. To develop positive habits, to learn something new, to choose a better future. You see, things happen the best for the people that make the best out of the things that happen. So make good choices, learn from your choices, and make some new choices. See, this is really the perfect time to keep in step with the good stuff. So what's your good stuff? How do you keep in step with the good stuff? As Hal mentioned, my last 2 books that I wrote were Celebrate Lessons Learned from the World's Most Admired Organizations, followed it up with a celebration a day, 365 ways to a happier, healthier workplace. And in the book, we look at celebration, we define it as an attitude. It's a philosophy about life. It's the lens through which we see our world. And if you can change your lens, you can change your language, you can change your life. By changing your lens, you stay in step with the good stuff. And in the book, as I look at all the research and interviews we did around the world, we did research, interview surveys in 35 different countries, and I look at the time we're in right now. The best advice I can give you for this time is to turn on your gratitude. Gratitude is simply a thankful feeling for the life that we have and those that we share our life with. Is to turn on your play. Play is being able to let go of worry, anxiety, pressure, all the negative emotions that we may have in our life right now or in the past. Let go of those. Live in the present moment. It's the state of flow or the state of play when you're truly focused on what's going on right now. That's play. That's living in the present moment. And then lastly is surprise. Surprise is the element of the unexpected. It's bringing more joy, more love, more passion into your life and the lives of others. It's catching people doing something right creatively. It's giving people more of what intrinsically motivates them, what's highest on their joy list. It's finding out their favorite snacks, their favorite meals, their favorite mates. And more you know about them, the more that we can surprise them with what's highest on their joy list. So if you look at those three words, gratitude, play, and surprise, you take the first letter of each word, GPS. My recommendation to you is to not get out of bed in the morning without turning on your GPS. I mean, sometimes it's easy. We're excited to get out of bed. Other times, not so much. And maybe it's a little harder these days. That's when we need to hear that lady's voice in our minds. Some of us know her as Siri. Maybe she has a twin sister. It's Siri's. But if not, it's just Siri. And others know her as Cortana, for those on the Microsoft platform, possibly. And what does she say many times? You've probably heard before.
Recalculating.
Sure enough.
Turn left ahead, and you will have reached your destination.
Thanks, Siri.
Unless you want to continue being a stupid jerk with a crappy attitude, in which case your destination will be a crappy life. Good luck with that.
Okay, so Siri's got a little bit of an attitude, I guess. But I think she makes a good point, right? I mean, in the most simple terms, crappy attitude, you're going to have a crappy time of life right now. Attitude of gratitude, you are going to have a happy life right now. It really is pretty much that simple by making choices and making the best out of the things that happen. So this is really what I want to talk about today. Whether it's personally, and today we're going to focus a little bit more personally than professionally, given where we're at right now. Normally, I would give many more examples from the books about company life, organizational, and those relating to HR and sales and marketing. But today, a little bit more focused on the personal side. So we need an anchor. We need some kind of motion when we're not feeling, when we're going through that fear, we're anxious, or, we're creating drama in our lives, we can't help it sometimes. The universal sign for play is the old hang loose. Moment. Surprise people with what's highest on their joy list. That's the GPS. Okay, you got it? All right, we got to play a little. I mean, we're going to get this. I mean, this is what you're going to walk away with. This is the most important skill is how do you keep the GPS turned on? Okay? All right, so I'm going to ask you a question. And the answer is GPS with the motion like you really mean it. Okay? I'm serious. Okay, thank you. All right. Too much stress? GPS. Life's a mess. GPS. Virus. Distress. GPS. Okay, we'll play with it as we go along. But GPS, keep it in your mind. All righty? Here we go. All right, gratitude. Gratitude needs to come from the heart, not the head. Abundance flourishes in a grateful heart. I believe the single most important determinant of your future well-being is how well you practice gratitude. It really is the secret to life, is to have more gratitude in your life. Right? So how do we move from having an attitude, like an attitude, to more of an attitude of gratitude? I think it starts with asking ourselves one question when we wake up in the morning. What's that question? What do I have to be grateful for today? So the moment you wake up, before you're anxious or, oh my gosh, another day of this, or, oh no, I'm running out of money, whatever it may be, maybe it's more positive than that. Just quick question. What do I have to be grateful for? By focusing on gratitude, you'll get rid of all that other anxiety and stress. When you count your blessings, you realize how many blessings you have to count. And then, before you go to bed at night, same thing. Come up with a gratitude list. Keep a little gratitude journal. And every day, write down 3 things. That I'm healthy, that I exercised today, that the kids didn't kill each other, could go on the list. Found 1,000 pesos when I was cleaning out my sock drawer. Not bad. The family's together again, quality time with my wife or my husband. I learned to cook a new recipe that the kids actually ate. No traffic. Can't be out there in the traffic, but there's no traffic still. No pollution. That's good. Kids are cooking dinner. Kids are taking more responsibility. Okay, maybe not. We don't have to move so fast. We have time for what's important in our lives. I mean, a gratitude list every day before you go to bed. And why is that so important? 3 reasons why it's important before you go to bed. Number 1, it creates optimism. You go from negative to positive in many cases, from sad to happy, from the glass being half empty to hopefully 2/3 full or 7/8 full. You create much more health. Moving on to number 2, when you release positive endorphins into your system when you're practicing gratitude, there's a mind-body connection when you're practicing gratitude. You feel better about yourself, and you're going to sleep a lot better. So instead of having nightmares, you have a much better chance of having happy dreams. I mean, who doesn't want happy dreams, right? Right? Those 3 things before you go to bed. When you wake up in the morning, what do I have to be grateful for? Then a quick little gratitude journal. Easy enough. All right. Mary Laverty, been in a mastermind group with her. So we meet with 6 of us about once a month. We don't quite meet that often as much anymore. But Mary, a wonderful lady, has been doing this for years. Started off when probably, maybe 3.5 decades ago, I'm guessing. This game that she played started on the way back from Disneyland on a big family holiday. On the way to the holiday, kids are usually well behaved, right? They're excited. On the way back, Crankyville sets in. That's when she needed to create this game. Or bad things could happen. And the game is as many categories of, hey, what was your favorite ride at Disneyland? Your favorite Disney character? The best laugh we had? Your favorite meal? Your favorite ride? As many categories as possible of the best, which really helped her get through the ride home to Colorado. It was so impactful and effective that she started doing that around the dinner table every night. What good thing happened at school today was usually the question. And the kids knew they weren't going to eat unless they had something to come up with, something good that happened at school. I mean, if I'm having dinner with my mom these days, she's 85, usually we play the game, Guess Who Died Today? Mom, I hate that game. Can we play a different game, please? What? Guess who's about to die? No, how about let's play the best of the best? That's so much better. All right. So I think one of the great benefits that I've been hearing from so many of you and as I do these programs today is more family time, that you get to eat as a family, that you don't have those. So what if we came up with categories for the best of the best? What has been the gift of the coronavirus? What's the greatest lesson you've learned so far? What have you learned about yourself? What will you do differently next year? Your most embarrassing moment, maybe that would be fun. What I need to apologize to the family for. The best TED Talk, if you watch TED. If you don't, I recommend that you do. There's a lot of wonderful wisdom there. Favorite TV show or Netflix, maybe. Favorite music, maybe you've discovered a new artist. Best book, best blog, new favorite app, best podcast, fun website, funniest moment since you've been in this isolation. Favorite website, funny, biggest laugh. Maybe how can I surprise the neighbors? Best of the best. You know, it's something I recommend companies do to start off every meeting with the best of the best. Before you get into all the things that don't work, you know, let's share some positive things that do work. Creates energy, creates momentum, an optimism, and it's much easier at that point to talk about what the more difficult things when you play the best of the best. I had the great fortune of serving the National Speakers Association as their president in 2004, 2005. Had a chance to travel to 38 chapters in the US, another 13 internationally. My favorite game to play was the best of the best with a group of people, maybe a board dinner the night before, because you get to learn about people with what they're passionate about. All right? So it's like one thing to celebrate a day could be a best of the best. So what I want you to do, I'm going to give you about 20 seconds in the chat box, a best of the best, something that you're excited about right now in your life. Go ahead. 20 seconds, write it in the chat box, please. What are you excited about in your life right now? Okay. Wasn't that fun? Did you feel the energy pick up at home? I felt it pick up here a little bit. Some good things. Yeah. To be with my family since they are abroad. Nice. Excited for this pandemic to end and have a normal life again. Okay, that's what you're. All right. Well, I think we're all probably excited in some way for that as well. Okay. Thank you very much for playing along. Moving right along. The gift of giving. The quickest way to cheer you up is to cheer somebody else up. I was actually supposed to be in the Philippines as the pandemic broke out. I was in Bangkok and I had some programs in Manila, and then I was going down to Cebu and ended up having to fly home. And when I flew home, we were pretty much going into lockdown right about that time. And I think one of the wonderful things about human beings that we all share is that we want to help others. And one of the reason I'm wearing my barong tonight, for those of you from the Philippines that noticed, is because I have such a soft spot in my heart for the Philippines. We have a lot of causes there with Together We Can Change the World, and I just the loving spirit and compassion of the Filipinos is just so nice. And the gift of giving. So when I got back in that spirit, the first thing I did was whenever I would go out to my time to go to the store, I would post on. We have what's called Next Door. I'm not sure if you have it there, but basically it's for the neighborhood. We have a website, and I just said, hey, I'm running out. If anybody needs anything, I'm happy to pick it up and drop it off. So just to try to give a little back. But what I think is a lot of fun that I think would be kind of fun for you to adopt if you'd like, is the hero of the day. I actually learned this. I was speaking at the Philippine Department of Tourism in Bacolod a couple years back, and one of the ladies with the director of MAD Travel, Make a Difference Travel, was speaking at the conference, and she was talking about this concept of the hero of the day, that with all of her volunteers and their causes, that she has a hero of the day. And I thought, what a great idea. So I adopted the hero of the day. Sometimes it became the hero, mostly when I traveled, I would do it. Sometimes it was a hero of the week. But when I came back, it's so important to keep connection during this time. So that I thought, okay, when I first got back, I said, I'm going to connect at least with 3 people a day under the hero of the day. That, hey, I just want you to know that you mean something to me in my life. And you can set it up any way you want. But I think to let them know that they're your hero of the day will make them feel better and will make you feel better. I'll let you set the rules for it, though. How's that sound? Together We Can Change the World. We started in 2008. Our mission is to educate, empower less fortunate girls and women in Southeast Asia to really look after their well-being and create sustainability in their lives and their communities is what our mission is. And it has been such a great gift of perspective and gratitude for me. We have some wonderful projects. Some of my very favorite causes are in the Philippines. And the lesson we learn is no matter where you are in your life right now, there's someone that has it a lot worse that's figured out a way to be happy. And there's someone that has it a lot better that's figured out a way to be miserable. Happiness is an inside job. I don't know if you're familiar with, this is, I think Dina may be on the call. We partner with Dina Staldler and her wonderful daughter, Diana. We work with Bacold Kalinga. It's poor children, street kids, that a place to live, and then they support a community every night. They feed a community of 300. It's just a wonderful, wonderful cause, and we've been with them for about 5 years. Another one of my favorite causes. Oh, here's at the same place, and we're teaching them. We brought them all toothbrushes. I think Dina, that you were responsible for that, if I remember. And we're just teaching them how to brush their teeth. It's kind of fun there. And then SOS Children's Homes. We work with the one in Manila, one in Cebu, and they're kids that have lost both of their parents, and they don't want to split up the family. So a surrogate mother moves in, adopts these kids, and makes sure that they have a good life, 3 good meals a day. They go to school right there in the children's village. It's all over the world. It is so amazing. But we have just fallen in love with the families in Cebu and Manila, and is in the last month we have we've given away over $20,000 US because there's so much need right now, as you can imagine, with what's going on. That and any time, when we're focused on serving, what we're not focused on? We're not focused on our own problems. We feel so much better. So I recommend that you come up with whatever it is for you. And, and even if, without jobs and we're losing our money, even through kindness, a nice smile, or just, that playing the hero of the day, we can make a huge difference. Another one of my favorite projects, we have it's a hospitality van, basically, we've created from a half semi, that we go into the provinces of the Philippines and we teach hospitality skills. So ladies can learn how to become housekeepers, or men if they'd like as well, front desk skills, as well as food and beverage. So we teach that right from the van, and then they come into Cebu and get a little bit more training as well. So again, remember that fragrance always clings to the hand that gives roses. Quickest way to cheer you up is to cheer somebody else up. Track your happiness. Harvard psychiatrist created this great app called Track Your Happiness. He wanted to find out when people in life are the most happy. So what do you think makes people happy? What circumstances? You'd probably guess. If we were in an open seminar, you would be telling me right now that probably listening to good music, exercise, those intimate moments with a loved one, a spouse, partner would probably be on that list. Playing with animals, a lot of things would make that. Well, 10 things would make the top 10. That's why they call it the top 10. Anyway, much more important than circumstances, the things that we do, is the way we evaluate the experiences of our life. The stories we tell ourselves about the situation we are in right now. And now's a perfect time if you think about it, you're hearing the stories that we hear, people's different stories about the time that we are in right now. What stories are you telling yourself? If you don't like your emotions, if you don't like the way you feel about it, tell yourself a different story. It's as simple as that. So how do you create more the habit of happiness? How do you find joy in these times? If you look at your present circumstances and your past through the eyes of fear, anger, and resentment, it shows up as fear, anger, and resentment in your present and your future. If you look through the eyes of gratitude, It shows up as hope and faith in your future. So the quickest way to get rid of these negative emotions is to practice gratitude. It's as simple as that, is just to practice gratitude, right? You see, if you ask yourself the question, what's the gift? Every situation, every challenge we have, there's a gift. I can remember, gosh, about 20, maybe 25 years ago, I was in Chicago and I was supposed to meet a lady that I was dating who was flying home, and we were going to meet for a couple hours in Chicago. And she didn't show up when she was supposed to. I checked her flight. Her flight was on time, and I didn't know what was going on. But there was one last flight to Denver, and I knew if I missed that flight, I'd have to stay overnight. And I was having you ever have a self-pity party where just you are invited? So I'm kind of walking to the plane, having this pity party, thinking, why didn't she show up? And I mean, is our relationship over? And I'm like, hey, wait a minute, Scott, you talk about this stuff. If you don't like the way you feel, tell yourself a different story. So I just made up a little scenario in my mind. I said, you know what? The reason she didn't show up and the reason I'm on this last flight is because I am going to meet my wife on this flight. And now I play that game many years later, 25 years later, I'm still single, and I still play. Once in a while, I play that same game when I'm, you never know. You know, that's a great thing about being single. On any given day, you can meet your wife. But funny thing on that flight, I sat next to a guy and I was telling him the story. I go, you don't really look like my wife, because he was a big guy. But I ended up going to doing some speeches for his company. So it ended up being a pretty good trip as it was. But what's the gift? About 20 years ago, I spoke to a group of cancer survivors, and first time ever. And we've all been impacted by cancer in some way, and some of us directly. I haven't personally, but I know many or some of you on the call tonight have had cancer. And I remember talking to my mom. I said, "Hey, Mom, this is a pretty important speech to me. I want to make it meaningful." I said, "What do you think if I asked this group of cancer survivors what their gift had been in having cancer?" And my mom looked at me and she says, "Are you crazy? Have you lost your mind? Have you no feelings for people? No, you can't do that." Note to self, don't ask mom her advice anymore. But you know how when your mom tells you something or that you shouldn't do, sometimes you got to do it, right? So sure enough, I asked this group of cancer survivors what the gift had been. Some great things came back. Some funny things like less time in the shower. My kids call more often. Don't ask for money as much. My friends call me, ask me out to lunch. To much more profound things like, I now have permission to live my life for what's most important, to live my life for me first. That this gift has been that I feel more of an urgency to make a bigger difference in life, to live a bigger legacy, leave a lasting legacy. So what has been the gift of this pandemic for you? What's the gift? And what will it mean to your future? I'm just going to give you another maybe 20, 30 seconds in the chat box, if you would. Share what your gift has been in this pandemic. I mean, why should we let a good pandemic go to waste, right? Let's take advantage of it. There's all kinds of gifts there. All right, 10 seconds. You can close the poll now. Oh, wait, we didn't have a poll. Just kidding. Jeff, I just wanted to see if you're still paying attention. Good, buddy. Yeah, one poll left, and it's not coming up for a little while. All right. There's an old Buddhist prayer that states, "Grant that I may be given appropriate difficulties and sufferings on this journey, so that my heart may be truly awakened, and my practice of liberation and universal compassion may be truly filled. For it's thought if we have no struggles in life, we have no opportunity for genuine growth." Anybody feel like you have too many opportunities for genuine growth? Now is a good time for that genuine growth. Just remember that it's not happiness that makes us grateful. It's gratefulness that makes us happy. If you would, give me a little GPS for gratitude. Thanks. All right, moving on to play. And play is accepting our current reality. All the expectations and demands that are placed on us, all the stress and anxiety and heartache that we have in our lives. And we all go through heartache in our lives, right? Some of us are going through it now, probably. And still, whatever that current reality is, still be able to activate the old GPS, right? And it starts in this time with creating a routine for yourself, a set of standards, rules, behaviors to follow. For those of you who are staying at home, here's my 5 that I live by. You can take a look at those as I'm chatting. But the bottom line is, during this time, you need some kind of exercise. You know, there's all kinds of great things on YouTube and just sit-ups and push-ups and all kinds of different things we can do, or we can do yoga, we can do aerobics, whatever, just find it on YouTube. And then eating healthy. It's so easy to sit home and eat stuff that you shouldn't be eating. I mean, really watch what you're eating now. And then connection, I think, is the other big thing. What are we doing at this time to connect with other people? We need that connection. And I really think it's a wonderful opportunity to reach out to those that we work with, as well as those that we serve as customers, and find out how they're doing and offer our services. So good stay-at-home rituals. I think play, and limit your comfort food, of course. Aren't those cute? Okay, play, I think, starts with a good sense of humor. How many have a good sense of humor? Give me a thumbs up, make some noise at home. All right, good, thank you. How many used to have a good sense of humor? How many have never had a sense of humor, but you think there's still hope somewhere? Yeah, maybe? All right, a sense of humor, it really starts with our attitude, right? It starts with, I remember if I wanted my dad to lose his sense of humor, all I would have to do is bring home my report card. 7th grade, junior high, C's and D's. He beats me in the mailbox, dinner time, pulls out my report card. He says, Scott, what is this? I said, Dad, it's one person's opinion. Do we need to talk about it? Yeah, I think we need to talk about it. How come Andy doesn't get C's and D's on his report card? Andy was one of my best friends growing up. I could never quite measure up. I said, Dad, you can't compare me to Andy. We are so much different. Oh, are you? How are you so much different? I said, Dad, Andy has very bright parents. Took me a long time before I could sit down and laugh at that. Oh, note to self, be careful with the way I talk to my dad. But we do, we have opportunities to lose our sense of humor every single day, don't we? Siri, what could possibly cause this group to lose their sense of humor? Is there anything? Give me a few things.
Running out of patience, running out of money, running out of rice, running out of toilet paper, having to decide where to go for my birthday, take out from Jollibee's or McDonald's, wondering when school will start up again, not being able to find hand sanitizer, being stuck in the house for what seems like eternity, the guy at the supermarket coughing on the last head of lettuce, trying to learn to cook and having to eat my own meals, fear of getting infected, fear of infecting others, fear of losing my mind, the speed of the internet being painfully slow, coming to the realization that I married the wrong man, not knowing if I have a fever or hot flashes, feeling anxiety, not being able to enjoy the traffic-free life of Manila. My hair has taken on a life of its own, people violating my space, my mask not matching any of my wardrobe, wishing I could trade in my family for a new puppy.
Wow, I guess, okay, so I'm with you. There's all kinds of opportunities at this time to lose your sense of humor. So that's why I think we need some strategies. My very first book is a book called Using Humor for a Change. And the purpose of the book is really the 1-minute humor break. And see, one definition of humor is humor can be defined as pain, embarrassment, stress and anxiety, distanced by time. If you think about what made you laugh a year ago, and I bet you in a year, hopefully a year, won't take longer, we will be laughing at some of the things that this created as well, right? But why do we need to wait? The 1 minute humor break is, let's do something right now to break our emotional pattern. And the more crazy, the more bizarre it is, chances are that we can really change our emotional state. All right. So so let's take a look at my favorite. First one, the reason I think it's appropriate now is I think spending so much time with your kids, you realize that your kids' language is probably not the same language you used when you were a kid, right? I mean, your parents wouldn't let you get away with that kind of stuff, right? I mean, you would want to take President Trump's advice, and maybe give them a little Lysol cleaner in their system. But I don't think that's a good idea. Don't listen to President Trump. Instead, do this. This is a much better way to do it, I think. What you do is you write down all of your favorite swear words on a piece of paper. Some of you may need the back of the paper. Then you give each swear word a number, 1 through 30, 31 through 60. Next time something upsets you, instead of screaming out the swear word, you just scream out the number. 3, 13, 7! 2, 4, 9, 11, your mother, 8! Shove a 2x4 up your 6! You immediately release the stress, then people around you start to wonder and come to know what those numbers mean. Don't get near your mother today. You know how she is when she screams 3, 13, 11. Stay away today. Just stay away. It's better. All right? Kind of crazy, but hey, it could be effective. All right, I'll give you a few choices here. What if we celebrated the first stress of the day? All right, I think now many of you may feel the first stress of the day may be that painfully slow internet that we mentioned before. That could be the first thing. Okay, how would we normally respond to that? 396, that internet again. Next time, treat yourself. How about to a banana Q and some OJ, and say woohoo, celebrate a little bit. Then get back to it, and you'll be a little more calm. You see, if we can celebrate or laugh at the first stress of the day, we can do it the same with the second, the fourth, the seventh, the 10th. If we associate something that we don't like with something we do like, so if a stressor, then we treat ourselves to listening to what our favorite music is, or a little snack of some sort, then it's a lot easier. We realize that we have more control over our emotions than we give ourselves credit for. Next is to sing your complaints. All right, what if we just did this 2 days a week? We say, okay, kids, or you want to complain at your mother's cooking, or you want to complain about anything? You got to sing your complaints. Ready? Ayo, ayo. I'm stuck at home, I know. My kids cause stress, my hair's a mess. Ayo, 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 ayo. And you can make up any songs. You can sing them to Christmas carols, children's songs, whatever you want. Have some fun with it. But try a little singing your complaints. It's a fun one. It really is. What if you complain to yourself? So you're from your cell phone, you call your home phone. If you don't have a home phone, you just call your cell phone from your cell phone or somebody else in the family's cell phone to your cell phone. And, you leave yourself a message. What's on your mind, all right? Something like this maybe. Hi, Scott. If you're like me, and I know I am, you're not having a very good day. My husband cut my hair with gardening shears, and now I look like Kogon grass gone wild. My wife keeps complaining about social distancing, wondering when I'm going to let her in the house again. Maybe never. I don't know. 3 women said they wouldn't touch me with a 6-foot pole. The story of my life. The only time I get dressed up anymore is taking out the trash. My self-esteem is so low that even my imaginary friend won't play with me anymore. No need to call me back. I'll just see you when you get home. And do me a favor, clean up the place a little, will you? Alrighty, I love you. Bye. You immediately release the stress, right? And then you listen to your messages later and you hear your voice and you're thinking, who is that? Oh, that's right, it's me. I left a message for myself. And you recognize your reactive stress pattern. You're thinking, wow, I was pretty worked up over something that's not that life-threatening a couple hours ago. And the only way to change your reactive stress pattern, first, is to recognize it. Second, to choose a strategy to do something different than you're now doing. All right? For those of you that are fortunate enough to have Netflix, there's some great comedy on Netflix. And comedy is a wonderful antidote for this time, is to laugh a lot. And that's why I'm trying to give you a fair amount of humor today as well, because it's a good release, I think, is to laugh a little bit. But online humor. In the chat box, why don't you share with where you get your humor from? I have a Facebook group. It's called Celebration at Work, and I'd love it if you'd go there. Every day I share at least one or two things, some fun stuff, or inspiration, or just a perspective, a positive way to look at things. All right. But what do you use? There's onefunny.com. Every day comes out with 4 different videos, and there's some really funny stuff that relates to COVID-19, as well as all kinds of other things. So that's a good place that I go. Laughter Works on Facebook is another group that I borrow from to put on into my group sometimes. It's very funny. Go ahead. If you would, if there is any groups, go ahead and write that in the chat box. But I want to share a few of my favorites from Celebration at Work. 2020, written by Stephen King, directed by Quentin Tarantino. When you work from home and somebody wants to have a video call. See, you guys are lucky we're in this webinar mode. I mean, who looks like this? Be proud. Come on. Raise your hand. No one can see you. Anybody look like this right now? No? I mean, I took a shower for this call and put on my favorite barong. I mean, I'm telling you, I don't do that for everybody. That's kind of a cute little thing, right? No smoking in the bathroom, though. That's out. Quarantine week 4. Uh-huh. Anybody look like this? Mary, do you accept John as your lawfully wedded husband? If you do, press enter. If you don't, press escape. All right. Virtual weddings. Let's play a quick game of bingo. Scream out when you get bingo. Anybody? 5 in a row, any direction. All right, here we go. See, if you keep a glass of wine in each hand, you can never touch your face. Now, there's a good strategy right there, I'm thinking. And then something more on the positive end. I love this one. I saw this out on the internet and had to immediately post it. But the best medicine of all, stay positive. Let's take it. There's your medicine. See, if you're looking for good, then it opens ourselves up to see more funny. And if you're looking for funny, then it's easier to find the good. All right, so look through the eyes of humor, and the eyes of humor will look back. The highest form of humor is the ability to laugh at yourself. Lowest form of humor is making somebody else the brunt of a joke. Love what Jack Welch says. He says was the former CEO of General Electric who passed away not long ago. And love what he said. He says a big part of General Electric's success was he taught his workers to take their work seriously, but take themselves lightly. You know, we can take this pandemic seriously, and it's sad what's going on. It really is. But we can still take ourselves lightly. Playing spontaneity, one of my favorite forms of humor. It sounds like an oxymoron, 2 words that don't go together. Me and a buddy are watching a speaker falls off the stage. My friend turns to me and says, "Hey, what would you say right now if you fell off a stage?" I thought about it for a brief moment. I said, I'd probably say something like, "Don't mind me. It's just a stage I'm going through." I said, "What would you say?" He said, "I will now take questions from the floor." So the next time I fall off a stage, I'm going with his. I will now take questions from the floor because it's funnier. All right. Have you ever been to a dinner party, or maybe now it's with your family and there's so many in the house that are all there together, and but before at a dinner party, when you were in the bathroom and somebody rattled the door to get in, you would normally say what? "I'm in here, be out in a minute." Next time, try this. "Come in. I've been waiting." You want to spice up a dinner party that We'll spice up a dinner party. Yes. Right. Hey, the poll just came up. We're not quite ready for poll number 3 yet. So when it comes to my, where they're already filling out. Yeah, don't fill out that poll quite yet. All right, we're going to be there in 1 second. You can still leave it up because that's actually the next thing that we're going to talk about here. But don't let that get in your way too much. All right. All right. So what are some of the things right now that you're hearing at home that over and over again? Maybe something like, "Hey, Dad, chill," and maybe Dad says something like, "Chill. I think I'm better at room temperature. Why don't you chill?" Or "You're getting on my nerves." Really? How many nerves do you have? And how many? And how many am I actually on right now? About, would you say? Should we do a little nerve poll? Or "Hey, tonight I get control of the remote for the big TV. Is that okay?" Sure, it's okay, as long as you want to watch what I want to watch. It's fine. That's how we'll. Yeah. That works out just fine. So play a little planned spontaneity, and the philosophy behind planned spontaneity is that we come ready to play. When we're around each other for a long time, sometimes we lose our patience. We get a little upset. So if we come ready to play, our reactive stress pattern, instead of becoming reactive, let's go to humor. Okay, let's think of a funny comeback. Let's go with planned spontaneity. Let's think of some of those things that continue to happen, and let's have a little bit of fun with them. Okay? Okay, that sounds good. Because the family's together this long. How many of you are hearing this around the house? Tell me if this sounds familiar to any of you.
Para kang may katulong ah. Linisin mo yan.
Yeah, maybe for I think that's probably okay. All right, so go ahead. Poll number 3 is up. Go ahead and fill it out. For those of you who haven't yet, the question is: when it comes to my kids, for those of you, of course, if you don't have them, you got a break. You don't even have to fill out the poll. I never realized how well behaved they are. They're just like angels, and I don't expect a lot there. B, I'm wondering which kid I should put up for adoption first. C, how could this kind of behavior come from my perfect parenting skills? It's just not possible. And D, my homeschooled kids are begging for a new teacher right away. All right, that was more for just a little bit of fun. But so I'm going to end the poll. What was our leader? We're going to end the poll here in about a minute. I love it. How could this kind of behavior come from my perfect parenting skills? That's a winner, chicken dinner. Okay, I can see why that may be the case. All right, so what do we need to do? How do we deal with that with the tension that may arrive from families? You know what we need? We need a safe word. All right. So you can turn what could become friction into something that's fun. So hey, spaghetti is the safe word for the week. And so you make up your own rules, but let's just say that, okay, you get a safe word 3 times. So when you're getting on my nerves, I'm going to spring "dogs bark at midnight." That's my friend Tim Gard's favorite saying. Or treehouse in Baguio. I don't know. You make it up, whatever. But that's your safe word or your safe phrase. You can say it 3 times. It's kind of fun, and then it helps deal with that tension. I think it's a wonderful idea, really. All right. So there's 2 important questions that you need to ask yourself during this time that you probably haven't asked yourself, I'm guessing. Have you decided you want it to be fun? All right. So and people push back at this. They go, "Hey, come on. How many people have died from this pandemic around the world? I lost an uncle to COVID-19 a few weeks back. It's serious stuff. It's painful, but just because there's pain and there's uncertainty and fear and anxiety doesn't mean at the same time we have so many hours in a day you want to worry for a little while or be sad, that's okay. We can feel our emotions. I'm not telling you not to do that. But still, have you decided you want it to be fun? We don't want to go through life or this pandemic looking like this little kid, right? No. So then the next question is, what are you doing to make it more fun? Let's have some fun with this. Let's get creative. Why not? Let's get creative. Work with a company in Colorado called Design Force, and they have what's called Toss It Tuesday. And this is a wonderful work idea. That every Tuesday, what they do is they provide, the company provides salad, just 2 heads of lettuce basically, so it doesn't cost them a lot, and some salad dressing. Then everybody brings in whatever their favorite, if they like chicken, tomatoes, croutons, you bring in your favorite, but you only have to bring in a couple because everybody else is going to bring in stuff too. And then you make your own salads. They're pretty nice salads. And then you have to share an idea since the last Tuesday that is going to add value to either employees or customers. What can we do better here at Design Force? All right. I would recommend that you add that to your best of the best at dinner time, is to come up with creative ideas, how to work better as a family, how to, some job ideas, maybe for a Zoom call, play a little Toss It Tuesday once a week. So once a week, because we're all reading a fair amount more hopefully than we used to, and we're participating in webinars and different things. And I mean, I bet you could take 1 or 2 good ideas from this and share it at your next Toss It Tuesday, wouldn't you think? I would hope so. If not, my feelings may be a little bit hurt. Yeah. All right. So how can you bring this into your life, to apply this to your life? That was the word I was looking for, in some way. Okay. Linus Pauling said the best way to come up with a good idea is to come up with lots of good ideas, right? How many have seen The Shawshank Redemption? Great movie, wasn't it? 2 main characters in the movie, Morgan Freeman, Tim Robbins. Morgan Freeman is Red, Tim Robbins is Andy. As the movie gets on a ways, Red and Andy are having a heart-to-heart conversation in the prison yard, and Red is sharing his fear of the future. He's been in prison 40 years. He's up for parole for the 3rd time, but this time it really looks like he's going to get out. He's lost all hope. He's been there for 40 years. Andy turns to him and he says this. He said, "It all comes down to a simple choice, Red. You either get busy living or you get busy dying." Great advice for this time we're in right now, isn't it? We can fear it, we can ignore it, we can deny it. We can just accept it, or we can imagine the future from here. We can anticipate it, but the best way to predict the future is to create it by making good choices, learning from those choices, and making new choices. Asking ourselves the question, what's next? What's next? This is a good time, even if we can't afford it right now and we're in the worst financial shape we've been in, we can still play the game. What's next? What's on our bucket list? What does our future look like? Let's get excited about it. I love the saying by Goethe. He said that, before I get to that, and as we rush back to normal, ask yourself, which parts of normal shall I never return back to? This is a great time to get rid of all of the things you shouldn't be doing in your life. This is a great time to get rid of the people in your life that really don't serve you, that maybe you fell into a group of people, or you hang out with some folks that either you don't like, or that really are not a positive, inspirational influence in your life. Maybe now is a great time not to go back to that kind of life anymore, right? And here's Goethe's quote. Whatever you can do or dream, you can begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. So now's the time to dream. Enjoy it a little bit. Let's have some fun with it. All right? Sound good? You bet you. Okay, give me a little GPS for play. Living in the moment, dreaming big, learning, keeping our sense of humor intact. Got it? Wonderful. All right.
This is your pilot speaking. My name is Adrian Oberhensley. I'm working from home today.
Oh, surprise! That's the last one. Normally when I'm in person, I have a little different surprise, but this one I thought I would try tonight. What'd you think? Kind of funny, huh? Okay, hopefully, maybe a little. All right, surprise. Surprise is the element of the unexpected. Did you expect that? But here's the key to surprise. Surprise people with something they really like. All right, so here's what you get. I hope you're going to like this. I've been talking a little about my books tonight. I know that Ariva, thank you very much. You used to sell my books. I think we're out right now, but I would love to replenish the stock. But since you are out and since you were so kind to invite me to speak tonight, and competent compliments of Ariva tonight, anyone who would like one of my 3 books, the last 3 books I've written, the third to last was Happily Ever Laughter, then Celebrate Lessons Learned from the World's Most Admired Organizations, and A Celebration a Day. If you like 1, 2, or all 3 books, all you need to do is send me an email at Scott@ScottFriedman, and that's FRIEDMAN.net. Scott@ScottFriedman.net. That's your surprise. Now remember, the key to surprise is, and I'll also make them available to Ariva. So if you forget Scott Friedman or whatever, you can check with them, and they'll have the books as well to give you for free electronically. All right. So the key is what's on highest on people's joy list. It's getting to know people in a way that you can give them more of what they want. I have a lot of fun rituals with friends that I bring back things when I travel to Asia. I spend about 110 days a year in Asia between Together We Can Change the World and speaking. And I'm always bringing home fun stuff, and then I surprise people. And that, to me, it's great fun. I think it's fun for them. And then I have one lady that gives me these fireballs, because I love fireballs, the cinnamon, anything cinnamon. So when we see each other, I'm hiding little elephants and she's hiding fireballs. We're trying to figure out. It's great fun. All right. Well, George, I live with my housemate is a guy by the name of George, who's also a professional speaker, been to 125 countries, just a great guy. And we were sitting the other night and we're thinking, let's do something nice for the neighbors. And we try to surprise our neighbors with nice things. So we ordered 7 pizzas from Domino's, and George printed out this certificate, freedom from cooking. On this beautiful afternoon, you, our neighbor, can go for a walk rather than cooking dinner. Enjoy this pizza as a reminder, and remember that there's a lot of good happening in our world. We are all blessed. Stay healthy and positive. George and Scott. Right? So, and you can print up your own little certificates at 123certificate.com. George told me that he did this in pages on his computer, but it's not hard there's all kinds of free templates out there. We can make up certificates for family. We can have a little bit of fun with this. The pizzas were on special, so it didn't really, I think $5.99 for a 2-topping medium pizza. So the whole thing cost us under $50. Well under $50 for these pizzas. And the neighbors really were very appreciative. And we tried to do a little detective work ahead of time by finding out what their favorite topping was, so that we could match that as well. So that was kind of a fun thing as well. But really, in life, during this time with our neighbors, with our families, with our employees, our customers, really we're there to lift them up and not let them down. Kindness is contagious. It's much more infective than this virus. So infect as many people as you possibly can with kindness. Remember, at the end of the day, the quality of life is determined by the quality of our relationships. Right? Is that true? I think so. Luciana de Crescenza said that we're all angels, but with only one wing. And only by embracing each other, we fly. Never forget how many people you helped to fly. Use this time to help people fly. Thank you very much.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sir Scott Friedman. I felt like I was in a church listening to you, being spiritually, energized, and faith is being filled to the brim, and love is overflowing. Thank you so much, Sir Scott. And everybody, let's give Sir Scott Friedman a big, big hand. So I'd like to say 3 things, Sir Scott. Firstly, I'd like to thank you thank you for loving the Philippines. It's obvious. We've seen through your slides how much you love the Philippines. You mentioned even Jollibee. You reached out to the poorest of the poor. That love is genuine. We thank you for that. And at the same time, we're sorry for the loss, losing an uncle to COVID-19. We're so sorry about that. But more importantly, we love what you've shared with us. And we love that barong. That barong looks good on you.
Woohoo!
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Sir Scott, we will be pausing for a 2-minute break for which you can go to for water break or so. And at the same time, that 2-minute break will be an opportunity for all of our viewers to type in their question at the Q&A box. And when we return, after 2 minutes, Sir Scott, be ready to pour more of your love and positivity to all of us. Thank you so much. Don't you go away. Dear participants, we'll be right back for the exciting part, which is the Q&A.